and welcome to Namaste Thunder Bay. My name's Kelly Rooney and we are here in the beautiful Marina Park in Thunder Bay on Lake Superior. It's a gorgeous day. I'm feeling really grateful to be here with you. We're going to be exploring back bends in our yoga today, and like always, I encourage you to really listen to your body. In yoga, it is not a no pain, no gain situation. If there's any pain, you want to ease away from the posture that we're working on, take a gentler modification if I've offered it. If not, and you need to, take a break and join us again for the next pose. So really taking care of yourself, it's a big part of what yoga is all about. So today I mentioned we're going to be exploring back bends. In our day-to-day lives, we often are seated, hunched forward at desks or computers, or leaning forward and texting or driving, and we don't get enough of a back bend in our day-to-day lives. So we're really going to explore the back bends today, and it's going to be a little bit more of a workshop style than our regular yoga class because we're going to take time to talk about poses and to break them down. I also wanted to talk about the benefits of back bends because there's a lot of inherent benefits with yoga postures, and they will happen and you will receive those benefits even if you don't know what they are. But it helps if you have an inkling of what we're looking for because we are spending time observing ourselves in our yoga poses. So with back bends, one of the really great things that you can get out of them is relieving anxiety and stress. And it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. When you bend backwards, your body goes into a state of feeling uncomfortable, not in a physically uncomfortable, but maybe feeling a little bit anxious. You're off kilter, off balance, and just igniting that sense of anxiety and then easing it actually sends all the triggers in your body to respond to anxiety and then relax, which ultimately will help you to feel more relaxed. We also, in order to have a healthy spine, we need to encourage forward fold, back bend, and twisting side to side. So by exploring back bends, we're going to help keep a healthy spine, reversing the effects that I talked about with the texting and the driving and the sitting at computers and desks. I've jotted down some notes because I wanted to point out that with your back bends, sometimes in a full back bend, you'll also actually have a new perspective, physically seeing things through new eyes by coming into a completely different posture. That helps in your day-to-day life too. If you're ever struggling with a problem and you can't find a solution, I recommend trying some back bends or inversions because then you get a new perspective. The other thing that's really interesting about back bends is they're a great way to start building your bravery and gaining some trust in yourself. So building slowly and noticing what your body is capable of, and you'll find that you feel a little bit more confident to try more and more as you develop your strength or flexibility, whichever one you're working on, and maybe both will happen at the same time. So let's dive in. With yoga, we want to take a moment to center into our bodies. So you can come into a seated position, nice tall spine, put your hands on your knees in a fist, and as you breathe in, open your hands up wide. As you exhale, close your fists. Inhale and open your hands up wide. Exhale, closing into a fist. One more deep breath. Inhale, open your hands. Exhale, closing into a fist. Relaxing and just paying attention to the natural rhythm of your breath. Noticing as it fills your chest and belly as you inhale. Releasing and letting everything go as you exhale. As you take this moment of quiet to breathe, set an intention for your time on the mat today. It might be remaining open-minded. It might be working on your confidence. It might be developing your inner peace. or kindness toward yourself or others. You can allow your eyes to flutter open if they've been closed. We'll begin to move to warm up our bodies. We're going to come to a standing position at the top of our mat, and we're going to use sun salutations to warm up the body and to stretch out and tone before we start our back bends. This particular sun salutation has some nice gentle back bends in it, so we'll use those as our warm-up. Again, standing at the top of your mat, arms at your sides, bring them up to your heart center, pressing your palms together. Take a full breath in, let it all out. Inhale and bring your hands up overhead, gentle back bend. Exhale, folding forward, bringing your hands down all the way to the mat. You can keep a bend in the knee if you need it. Step your left foot back in a lunge. Step your right foot back into downward dog. Leaning your body forward into your plank position. Take an extra breath in. Lower down slowly through chaturanga, keeping those elbows nice and tight to the body. Relax your feet. Inhale, bringing your chest and shoulders up. Exhale, pressing back to downward dog. Taking a couple of deep breaths in your downward dog. Visualizing your tailbone reaching up toward the sky and your heart sinking down toward the mat. Inhale your right foot up, bring it forward and plant it close to your hands. Then step your left foot forward. Inhale up to a flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Bring the palms of your hands together, coming up slowly. Bring your hands all the way up to heart center and extend them overhead in a gentle back bend. Exhale, bringing them down to your heart center. There's your little warm up with a couple of gentle back bends. We're going to stay in a standing position and we're going to do a gentle supported back bend to start off with. This is something you can do anytime you need a little relief from an achy back, or you just feel like you need a stretch. Standing up from your desk or taking a moment after you've been driving, place your hands on your lower back so that the heel of your hand is right at your waist and your fingertips are facing down. Bring your elbows in behind you. Take a deep breath in. Lift your heart up and lean back, using your hands to support you. You can come back up to a fully standing position. With back bends, you may want to take a break and then re-enter the pose. So keeping your elbows together, your hands planted firmly on your lower back. Deep breath in. Lift your chest and ease back. Then breathe naturally. Coming back up to a standing position, lowering your arms down at your sides. We're going to come forward in a fold, bringing our hands down on the mat and stepping the left foot back. We're in a high lunge. In your high lunge, you can bring your hands up onto your knees if you want to find your balance in your high lunge. If that's challenging for you, you can stop there. If you would like to explore it a little further, you can take your hands up overhead, palms facing one another. And as you breathe, bring your chest up toward the sky and bring your hands back forward onto your mat, lowering your left knee down to the mat and relaxing your foot. When your foot is relaxed and you've got a nice steady low lunge, we can explore that back bend a little further. You can bring your hands to heart center. And as you breathe in, lift your chest up toward the sky. I've got a little bit of an uneven ground underneath me, so remembering to ground your foot down, pressing your knee into the mat. The top of your left foot is pressing down into the mat, bringing the hands to the heart center, finding your balance and leaning back. Coming forward, plant your hands down, curl your toe under at the back, lift your knee up off the mat and press your hips up and back to downward dog. Inhale your left foot up into the air and bring it forward and plant it close to your hands. And you'll be in a high lunge on the other side. Again, you can bring your hands to your knee to steady yourself in your high lunge. You can explore the back bends with your hands at your heart center or the hands overhead, palms facing one another, if it's available to you. Coming forward, plant your hands down, lower your right knee down to the mat, lower your foot so that the top of your foot is resting on your mat. You can again bring your hands to your knee to sink into the low lunge, and then bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, lifting your chest up toward the sky. Bringing your hands forward. Lift your toes up and plant them down. Bring your knee up off the mat. Bring your hips up and back to downward dog. Lower your knees down onto the mat. And we're going to lower our body slowly down to the mat for Sphinx Pose. In order to be in our Sphinx Pose, you want to make sure that you're stretched out on your mat so that your elbows are directly below your shoulders. Your forearms are down on your mat, your palms are placed on the mat. As you make sure that the tops of your feet are pressing into the mat, your thighs and your pubic bone are pressing into the mat. And you're breathing and opening up your chest. This is a supported back bend. You can stay in this back bend for as long as feels comfortable to you. You want to make sure that there's a nice amount of space between your shoulders and your ears. You don't want to be scrunched up like this, really extending through the arms, supporting the nice gentle back bend. And while we're down on the mat, this is a great time to really break down and explore Cobra Pose. It's something that we often do in the middle of our sun salutations, and so we're moving from one pose into the next, and we might not pay as much particular attention to the alignment, so this is a good time to explore it. So from our Sphinx, we're going to bring our hands back so that they're underneath our shoulders, slightly back from our shoulders, just slightly, making sure that the elbows are tucked into the body, not out to the sides. You can, if you want to explore it, you can look down at your mat and then just inhale, raising your body up without using your hands. And then place your hands down. This is probably where your cobra should stop. You can develop a deeper cobra, but this is usually where a good starting point would be. You often see people pressing way up, and then you constrict your lower back. So try to explore how high up you can lift yourself naturally, then